Hi friends, this is Tanya Hales. I am actually cozied up in a little cabin right now, having a bit of a creative retreat, but I wanted to do a video for you and maybe we can make some art together again. So get out your pencil, your paper, and let's start thinking creatively. We're going to do some creature design today. In fact, we're going to make some fake Pokemon, otherwise known as Fakemon. Fakemon? Something like that. Yeah, let's get designing. You may or may not know this about me, but Pokemon was one of my first great artistic influences. As a kid, I honestly fell in love. Well, you'll probably do know this about me at least. I'm very much into animals and nature. And as a child, I think Pokemon kind of combined my love of, of that nature and those animals and creatures with this idea of magic and wonder and freedom. And so I've always been a fan of Pokemon. I still am a fan of Pokemon. And so something I wanted to do today, I thought would be fun, is if we design some starters, the whole set of starters from the first stage to the final form, all the evolutions. And so my concept I decided to go with is a frog. I didn't want to go with your typical water type frog though. My favorite type Pokemon as far as a starter goes was always fire type. I was pretty much almost always starting with fire type. There are only a few exceptions. And I thought it'd be fun if I could design a frog that is kind of more like a lava frog. And so stage one, of course, has to be a little tadpole. And we're going to watch this guy grow up through the different stages. So for the first stage, we have to have something simple and very cute. Every single starter starts out more rounded and cute. Something that you just feel like could be your best friend, your little buddy that you would hang out with. And as they go through the stages, second stage is more like cool, and then the third stage is just awesome and powerful and mighty. So here's our tadpole who's in his little cute stage. Let's see, how do you want to do this one? Yes. Got his long tail. Because he's a fire type, he's going to have, instead of kind of your typical fins, we'll have these flames kind of coming off him. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Let's see. I think I want this frog to be more of a froglet, which is what you call, I'm pretty sure that's the actual name of the stage right between tadpole and frog. Just call them a froglet. And there's when they're starting to grow their little legs, but they still have that very tadpole type shape. So he's gonna have some little legs. And now I want to spruce him up a little bit because he's plain. I feel like one of the things that the Pokemon's very good at is creating these designs that are very iconic. And I want to study that more and think about how they do it with their character design. I mean, because Pokemon are not human characters, but they certainly are characters, and so I think there's a lot that we can learn and apply as we kind of try to take those kind of traditional character design principles and apply them to your creature designs. So, some of the traditional character design ideas are the idea of silhouette, having a very strong, recognizable silhouette. Like if you only could see the silhouette, you'd still be able to tell who the character was, or in this case, who the creature, the Pokemon was. Just a lot of unique features that express basically the personality, express their character strengths. He's cute. Let's give him some little stripy shapes. Of course, they have to be kind of flame-shaped stripes because 4, is that too many? Was 3 better? Maybe 3 was better. Yeah, I think this is honestly pretty good. Alright, I've got my watercolor paints out. And this is the set that I use. I've been using and enjoying it for a long time. And it's been good to me. But if you are doing this, you can use any paint, or in fact, anything to color with. You could do this with markers. You can do this with crayons, colored pencils. There are many excellent options. Alright, so I have been thinking I want to do my little frog with the colors of some poison dart frogs. I was looking up some pictures, and there are these poison dart frogs. I should have looked up the actual name of them. But this species is, honestly, they're very much lava type colors. Like it's got the scarlet red and some orange tones, and then it has these accents of this deep black blue. And it looks very molten and cool. Somehow I've already smeared this. The heck? That's okay, because it's okay to make mistakes when you are making art, because we're just having fun. I mean, honestly, though, it's okay to make mistakes, even if you're doing this for serious things. Like if I was gonna try to do, if I was gonna try to sell this, or, something like that. Turns out there's a lot of ways to fix mistakes, and that's pretty neat. A lot of the times when I am selling my art, I don't do much with selling originals. Some artists have a very original-heavy business model. I do not, because I like to be able to sell my things. Well, for one thing, I like to sell them many times, and I also like to be able to have them at a lower price point. So my art, I very much rely on prints and just whatever formats of things like stickers or other things that I can make a bunch of copies of them and keep using them. I like my art to be able to reach a lot of different people, and in a lot of different ways and times and places. And I have nothing against more fine art type folks. It is just not where I feel comfortable. I don't feel like it fits with my personality and my goals, so I have, like I said, more of this, I guess you'd call it just more of an illustration model rather than a fine arts model. I love this deep scarlet red. And I've already decided I want the underbelly to be the light part. I'm already having thoughts about this over here, though. I have an idea for another way I could handle this, the tail. Basically my only real options if I'm doing the underbelly is the light, kind of the light orange, and then my only other options for the dark are these spots right here. Or, see, let's give this a try. Let's see if this will work. I keep this tail, this red tail, wet, and we're going to do a little wet on wet technique. So I'm going to load my brush up with my dark color, and I'm going to just drop that right on there, on that red. See, I didn't quite manage it in time. It's already drying out, so this is not going to be quite how I was imagining. But let's keep playing with this a bit. There we go. It's kind of that's gonna work. Drop that really dark color right onto that wet paint and just let it spread through it. Yeah, it's gonna look good. So we got a little bit of a glare on the camera. Oops. I'm making it worse. Just trying to spread it better. And I think it's, yeah, I'm making it worse. We'll just have to see how it goes when it dries. In the meantime, let's see, what else can we do? Let's do the eyes. I think the eyes will be, I should decide, do I want them to be that same kind of color? I might give them a bit of that, like a bluish. This ended up being more green than I was thinking. I'm just gonna stick my finger right in it. This is the problem. I know most painters, like, they hover their hand and paint, and I'm like, I don't know how they do it. This is where you can tell you're reminded that I'm a digital artist primarily, because I'm like, those painters and their mysterious ways. There we go. And his mouth will be maybe more of this slightly pinky red color. Happy little frog. Now I think this is dry enough now that I can add the, let's see what I want to do first. Let's do the underbelly first. Ooh, is that too yellow? Maybe. The nice thing about watercolors is that as long as you start light, you can just keep getting darker on top of it. If you start dark, there is no redemption. So start light with your colors, because you can always get darker. Let's see. I may go over this with a little more orange, I think. I don't know, maybe it's actually kind of nice. I think here, let's do that kind of the same tactic I did before, where I kind of drop orange and see it's drying too fast again. Let's see. but it's working okay. Oh, I think he's cute. His little round blob head. For some reason, it really amuses me. Okay, I guess it's the fire. Oh gosh, how do you paint fire? Like, I actually don't know, so we're just gonna start making it up. Once again, I'm gonna start lighter with this lighter orange, so we can go into it with some dark colors. Okay, is the black dried enough? It's like slightly wet over here. Alright, well, while I'm fearing that, here, I gotta load this up a little bit more than that. Kind of let that bleed into that. And then keep, oh wait, was that, yeah, no, that was the color. I just apparently had it way more watered down. Here. I'm gonna have one more step after this where I go over everything with, ooh, that wasn't quite dry. Ah! Get out of there. It's okay, like I said. It's okay because it has to be okay. I don't think I finished my point earlier that I was saying about the fact that I have a print-heavy art business. The point I think I was getting at was that, ooh, I'm messing up more. Is that I can just go ahead and fix things in Photoshop because like I said, I don't usually sell the originals. I kind of just keep them for myself for fun. Sometimes I do giveaways and things. But if I'm going to be printing them, I'm probably going to be editing them anyway. And so it's usually okay when I make some mistakes. I'm making this up. I don't know how to paint fire. But I think it looks pretty neat, so it means I must have... I must be onto something. Oh, I don't know now. I think I made it too red. Gotta spread that out a bit. Oh, that's kind of cool. Nope, too red. I want red polka dots. Get out of there. Okay. And now this means let's see, yeah, this is dry enough. We can paint the stripes. That nice black color. Blue-black. And it's too transparent. Though, admittedly, some of the things on the, I think on the phone screen, well, phone on my end, you might be watching this on a laptop, or a computer, or a TV, if you're, like, casting it. Anyway, where was I going with this? Gosh, my poor ADHD brain. Oh, from my end, on my screen, it looks, there's some glare from just the wetness of the paint, and so sometimes it's hard to tell what's actually light and what's just having a weird glare. I think that's what I'm trying to say. We've got a pen. And see, watch me as I ruin everything again. Ha. Down here, it is dry, so let's start here. Let's turn it in whatever way will make my hands drag over it the least. So I am just using a Sharpie because this is, I don't know, this is a fun thing I like to do. There's a lot of different kinds of pens you can use, but I find that these fine, what do they call these, just the ultra fine point Sharpies work pretty well for inking, and they work well with the watercolor. You can just go right over it. Honestly, I could do for this being a little less ultra fine, And I think it would look good with this. But this works just fine too. Alright, let's keep going down this way. God, you happy smile? I just kind of butchered that. Here, just make it all thicker. It works. And I think I'm just going to speed through the rest of the inking, so here we go. Okay, so this is our first stage of our Pokémon. I do not have a name for it. I don't feel that clever in this moment. Like, the word frog starts with F, the word fire starts with F, flame starts with F. We could do something good with this, guys. Though honestly, I'm just like, oh, maybe ChatGPT can help me think of names for my creature. I don't know, I'll keep my brain on it. You tell me in the comments if you have a cool idea for this creature and it's, what its name should be. We're gonna move on, though, to stage 2. Because all Pokemon at some point evolve. That's actually false. Some Pokemon don't evolve. All starter Pokemon at some point evolve, and it's usually around level 16. So, we have been out having all kinds of cool adventures. We've got a bunch of gym badges. Let's see, we've got maybe 1 or 2 gym badges at this point, let's say. But we've had some good adventures with our Pokemon. And suddenly we finish a battle, and next thing we know, it's got that classic evolution music when our little guy, he levels up, and suddenly we've got our dun 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 dun. And then next thing we know, he turns into this really cool, slightly less tadpole-y froglet. What I want to do. So it's gonna have the fire. We're gonna have that fire that was on his tail. It's gonna extend all along his back now. Gosh, maybe I should just sketch out like a general shape. Not generic. We want him to not be generic. Opposite of generic. We want him to be cool. But just the general shape. Maybe I should kind of get that figured out before I just start making lines and things. So he still gets a tail. Because, spoilers, I'm planning for him to keep a tail through all his stages. So imagine at this stage, he is still just a fire type. He has not yet gained another type. And I guess not all Pokemon gain a new type when they evolve. But I do imagine that this guy will. Oh, this is not quite right. His head be bigger. Maybe his head needs to be bigger. Here we go. Sometimes you say nope, and you just gotta redo some stuff. Yeah. This is not quite what I want. Oh, it's getting worse. think it's this is the problem. I don't know. Okay, we're gonna keep going because I think I need to get his legs in here, otherwise I'm not gonna have a good sense of what's what. Okay, so he's got his same three little froggy toes. I realized I didn't finish my thought once again, because that's what I'm really good at. Or should I say it's what I'm not good at. He is just fire type at this stage. But I do imagine for his third stage, he will get an additional type. And it is something where I feel like it will be cooler if he has a tail. And so, maybe now is your chance to try to guess what kind of type he gets. Here, I think this is just too long. Okay, let's try this. Yeah, he's still just a second stage little guy. Can't be too... Actually, I feel like the second stage is where they start getting real gangly and weird. Like, the second stage of all the starters is kind of like their awkward teenage stage. See, he's getting his little legs. He does have legs now. Well, he already had the front legs. He's getting his back legs now. Long froggy toes. And I guess we should be able to see part of this foot over on the side too. No, you wouldn't be able to see it all the way over there. There we go. Okay, that's good enough. He's funny and cute. Again. Different kind of funny and cute than last time, though. Okay. Okay, let's see. How do I want to do his little face? Unlike the previous one where he has that very rounded, goofy tadpole face, I do want him to have that more classic frog-eyed look with the kind of the bulgy frog eyes. Let's see. How do I want to do it? More like that. He's gonna also have in this version, I want him to have that kind of wide frog mouth too. Doesn't have the teeny little tadpole mouth. But I'm kind of combining it with that kind of cat mouth shape because it is a pleasant and cute shape. There's his underbelly again, which I will, I think, once again have as its own kind of lighter color. I'll probably, honestly, I'm imagining this guy being the same colors throughout every stage, just kind of variations of the colors. I don't know. I think it'll look cool. Alright, I'm going to speed through this next part. I think I will, I'm going to draw and ink and paint it, and I'll see you on the other side when we've got them done. Alright, we've got our second stage of our starter done, except for I'm adding a few little speckles, because that had been my intent, and then I forgot. But I feel pretty good about this little guy. He's pretty cute, but also, like I said, he's entering that cool stage. So let's look at our guys side by side. Starts out like this, turns into this, and this is your last chance to guess what type you think he's going to become in stage 3, when he has a dual type, double type. See, here's where I'm like, I don't remember all my Pokemon terminologies. And I think for this one I'm also just going to speed through it, because this video is already getting long. So here we go. Watch as I finish our final stage Pokemon as he evolves around, let's say, level 32, maybe 34, depending, maybe 36. I feel like there's a few that like take extra long to evolve. But yeah, we beat a whole bunch of gyms at this point. We're getting pretty far. And our baby is all grown up, and let's watch what he's gonna become. Okay, I'm just finishing up these last details of our froggy friend. So how many of you guessed correctly that his second type was going to be dragon? And if you didn't, why didn't you guess? Dragons are like my obsession. I'm just kidding. There's plenty of really good Pokemon types that are not dragons. But I was thinking about it and was like, yeah, it's that checks out, that pans out. That I'd be like, well, dragon. I had a lot of fun working on these. This is very different. And honestly, I have no idea what I'm going to do with these. I know I was saying something about talking about art prints, that's what I do with my, watercolor pieces or whatever. But honestly, I can't really imagine selling Fakemon art prints unless it was an actual, unless this guy was from an actual game. Which I guess that just means I need to actually make my own creature collecting video game. So yeah, gonna add that project to the list, because of course I would. But actually, funny story about me, I have actually always kind of been obsessed with the idea of making a monster catcher game. When I was, oh gosh, how old was I? Maybe 3rd grade is when I started. I made my own IP, I don't know what you can call it, my own version of Pokemon. Obviously it wasn't actually a real video game, but I would spend all this time drawing all these different creatures with all these different types, and they were called Phytozoids, which I don't even know where I got that name from. Phytozoids, whatever. I came up with it somehow. And I was obsessed with that for years. I think I was making those from 3rd grade through 5th grade. I think I did stop in middle school, which for our school or our district, that was 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. But yeah, there were a number of years that I was all about the Phytozoids. And I would draw these detailed maps of these different regions. And I probably had hundreds of these creatures. And I had such a good time doing that. So I would legitimately love to make a creature collecting game. I think that would be immensely fun. And if I could somehow find a way to make that feasible, make that fit with all the other billion things I'm trying to do with my life, then I think I would, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I just need to take one thing at a time. Alright, here's our guys. We start out with this little tadpole. He's so cute. And then he evolves into this cool guy. This teenage froggle itself. And into this epic dragon with the funky eyes, but I like his eyes. I did them with the sideways pupils on purpose. There are a number of frogs that have those kind of sideways pupils, and I think they're pretty neat looking. So anyway, our cool dragon frog. Yeah, I guess I don't know if it'll fit unless there we go. We'll zoom out. Haha. There we go. There's our starter Pokemon and its evolutions. our fire type starter. I hope you enjoyed this process video. I had a lot of fun doing it. This was very different than what I usually do. And if you have cool ideas of creatures that I could use for my others, I did, the frog for fire, but what other kinds of animals should I do you think, for the our fake theoretical, I should say, our theoretical water starter and our theoretical grass type starter? Leave your ideas in the comments. I'd love to hear them. And yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you can go make some cool creatures too now.